right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started. Can you hear me okay? I'm going to introduce Andrew, the President of the Board, to call the meeting to order. Andrew.
Hey everybody, I'm just going to call the meeting to order. I believe on the agenda is taking attendance. So I don't know if you want to do the roll call.
Mrs. Curran, Mr. Hugg, Mr. Wynantskill,
Here.
Mrs. Marsh,
Here.
Mrs. Sale.
Here. And we should probably do the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so the sole purpose of this meeting is really for Mike and the group that he worked with to present the results of the district operation study, and just wanted to remind everyone that the board did ask for this study to be done. We are welcoming all, constructive suggestions, and we really want to keep things positive moving into the future and hope that we're able to do that. All right, I'm going to turn it back to everybody. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I think everybody here, is everybody here, were you all a member of the focus group? Anybody who wasn't? I think we got everyone? Okay, very good, okay. No problem, because I'm going to be repeating a lot of things that the focus group did, but that's fine too, and it's in a different format, okay? So let's get started, and I'm going to try and see if the technology works here, okay? First of all, as Andrea mentioned, the district had been through some difficult times, and the Board of Education actually initiated the idea of this study when those difficult times were taking place. The Board of Education had to make a very difficult decision regarding leadership in the district, which they did, and the Board of Education insisted that we continue with this study and identify issues and concerns and some possible solutions, to help make our school district, I say our school district, because that's what part of the family here, a better place. Tonight's presentation is the beginning of a process. It's not the end. And I've stressed this, I know, with the focus groups. We're going to leave here tonight with a ton of information, a lot of ideas. We got to come up with a game plan of how we want to pursue this, and I've got some thoughts at the end of the presentation I want to share, as the facilitator and the consultant that was hired. It's time for everyone now to move forward, and I believe we are. I was very, very impressed by all of you who attended the focus group meetings. I really appreciate the openness and discussions that we had, and the positive ideas that came out, because there's a lot of it's good to see. I'm going to share with you some of the things that people value as well. Okay, so tonight's format, what we want to do tonight, in a positive and constructive manner, just like we did the focus groups, we're going to identify a number of issues, some of the solutions. These have been identified by the focus groups, in which faculty, staff, parents, community, and others, board members. Answers to all of these issues are not expected this evening, but there are solutions to every issue. As I look more and more at the data, I said, we can find solutions to these. There are answers. We do go find them. As a matter of fact, a number of these items we bring up tonight are already being answered. And that's a compliment to the leadership of Mr. Gordon and Mary Otis and others who are providing in the district already. This is designed to begin a dialogue. And what I want to do tonight is make this like an open forum. I'd like the opportunity for myself and the other presenters just to share the slides. And then at the end, open it up for some dialogue and some discussion. And I really would like your reaction to my thoughts and recommendations that I have at the end of the study. And I'd like you to share those with us and tell us if we're moving in the right direction. All right? Everyone involved here for support to move together, work together, and want to keep it that way. A quick overview of the process. Faculty, staff, parents, and members of the community were invited to attend focus groups and forums. I held 14 meetings here at the school. Some with as many as little as one person, and some with 10, 12, more people here. We talked to parents, we talked to community, we talked to non-instructional, we talked to instructional staff. I spent time with your administrators. I did also spend time at the beginning of this study with the Board of Education. So we talked about parameters of the study as well. We had 31 faculty and staff members participate, 26 parents and community members participated. We established the ground rules at the focus groups. And I want to keep these ground rules the same as we have had in the past here tonight. All right? I want the meeting to be a positive and constructive meeting. I think we're all ready to move forward. I have to say about the focus groups, and we try to keep them for 2 hours. Boy, we for both the faculty and for the parents and community, we went beyond 2 hours. And I always kid Bob, you're not custodians, I want to keep this out of the library, you can go home. But we had people were there, they were enthusiastic, so we stayed and listened. All right? A lot of compliments, any comments and suggestions that people brought up are accepted. So if any of you brought up anything, it should be here in one way, shape, or form in the presentation tonight. It's a lot of information. There were some common themes that developed, and we're going to focus on those first, then we're going to get off into the other issues. We asked everybody to stay on task during focus groups, and people had to rein me back in and tell us some stories about my experiences in education. And nobody really monopolized the sessions. It worked out very well. Each focus group had 3 questions to respond to. Number 1, what do you value most about the school district? Number 2, what are the issues that have been identified that need to be addressed? And number 3, how about some solutions? Let's not sit here and think about what we don't like or any things that seems to be wrong with the district. Let's talk about how can we change it moving forward. And everybody did a great job with that. So we're going to see some solutions here tonight as well as the issues that have been identified. We started off with the first question, what do you value most about the school district? And we used these big sheets of paper for all the sessions, and each group brainstormed the different values that they had for the Wynantskill school district. And a lot of people are very proud of the school district. This is a good school district. I've told all of you, I know when I come into this building now, I see happy kids, I see staff eager to work, I see parents who are saying hi to me in the parking lot, Board of Education members, I see them always very cordial, interested in what's going on in the school. So I'm very pleased with this. I really feel we're moving in the right direction. This is just one of the sample sheets that we have. But let's talk a little bit about parents and community first. What did they value the most? At each focus group, at the end of the focus group, I asked parents to pick one value that they liked most about the school district. And the leading vote getter from all the parents participating was the staff. Votes on the students being happy, and then there were other school characteristics, especially about the small school, which has its pluses, very few layers of administration to deal with, a community school concept, and K-1 building. In summary, for these focus groups, the most common value that the parents and community saw in the school district were the teachers and the staff, their dedication, their care about the kids, and the way that they know the families and work very well together. Other key issues that were mentioned, the small school, which is the center of our community, K-1 building, they felt was advantageous. Students are happy this year, walking out here with smiles. And faculty and staff answered the same question about what do they value the most. And the faculty and staff valued the students the most. There was also a number of votes for the staff, for themselves, for the relationships that they have and working together. And after a trying time that we experienced last year, I can understand that. They value the parents, too, as well, and the contact they have with them and what they provide for the district. And then there was a number of the school's characteristics very similar to what you see with the parents and community group. The size of the school, people felt momentum is now going in the right direction. There's support for parents, for each other, and for the current administration, support from them. And one of the key points that came up was this one here. Honesty. Trust is beginning to return. Because as the consultant and working with all the different groups, whether it was the Board of Education, parent, community, instruction staff, and non-instructional staff, there were trust issues each group had, all right, that needed to be dealt with. All right, and you're going to hear me at the end talk a little bit more about this, and I've got an idea about how to build that trust, and I want to share it with you at the end of the presentation. But I really believe that the trust is beginning to return, and we need to keep it moving in the right direction. All right. Now, faculty and staff, just to summarize what they valued the most, it was the students, who they felt are very enthusiastic and well-rounded. And the other common values they noted, strong support from the parents, each other, and administration, close relationship between the community and the faculty and the staff, and the momentum of the district is headed in the right direction. So we've turned the corner from all the issues that we've dealt with. It's time to keep moving in the right direction. I know I was talking to one of the folks in the audience tonight, and they said, well, Mike, you're wrapping up. I said, I'm wrapping up, and we're just starting, okay, because we've got a lot of things to work with here and move forward, okay? And I know the district is going to move forward and try to improve. All right, So, with the questions that we asked, what were the major issues and what were the solutions you had, we did the same brainstorming concept, okay? We put charts on the board, we listed a topic, and then for each topic that we had there, we put down some ideas. In the topics, we had some concerns and some possible solutions, okay, that we listed. All right? Then at the end of each focus group, I asked the participants, I gave them a little post-it note, and I said, pick 2 of the most urgent issues that you see here. And the purpose of this was to try to identify, are there common themes among the focus groups, whether it's a parent community focus group and a teacher or a non-instructional staff focus group. And there were some common concerns that came up. And that's what we're going to start sharing with the group first. Okay? We're going to start off with common issues that the faculty and staff identified as concerns. Okay? And actually, the first issue that this group identified, as well as the parents and community group, was, is the current superintendent, principal, administrative structure effective? We had a lot of discussion about this. I learned a lot about the history of your district. And I'm going to call Laura, come up here and help me out, and take over the presentation for this slide. And then Michelle Marte is going to come up and tell us about the parents view of this as well. Okay, Laura, welcome. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good.
Sure. Excuse me. I am here to address the reconfiguration of our administration. We reverted back to an administrative structure that had been proven to be problematic. Although I believe there was much discussion to prevent or eliminate these issues from happening again, I am here to tell you that there are still multiple concerns. First and foremost, I think the blending of these positions creates confusion, not only for students, but for staff as well. Who takes care of what is not clearly defined. Previously, when this position was started, Jack Linsky was moved to assistant principal. He was told, and we were told, that he would take care of the attendance, technology, and discipline. We don't know if that's the way the structure still is. And if that's the case, it has not been followed with the change in the administration figure. Superintendent duties often supersede principal duties. So who do I see for what? Well, whoever I see first, and that's how it really goes. As a staff member with this model in place, if I speak to my principal and I'm not satisfied, or I have another concern maybe that I don't feel was addressed, I have no recourse. That's it. Stops right there. So we are asking that you please reevaluate and consider that you return this to our 2 people, 2 positions where roles are clearly defined.
Go to the parents. Go ahead.
We had similar concerns about the current superintendent principal administrative structure, whether or not that's currently effective, many of the same reasons that you mentioned. We wanted to emphasize that it's important for us to figure this out before we can start hiring, although we really would prefer that Mr. Bordick just stay.
Yeah.
Our preference, but we know that I don't think his wife will agree to that. He's going to have to go on vacation at some point. And we want a new him. So in order to get a new Mr. Bordick, we need to have clearly defined characteristics about what we're looking for. And it's difficult to do that if we don't have an accurate job description that we're putting out to all the districts. And it's important for us to do this as quickly as possible because we're going to need time to hire a person to really look into who this new person is going to be. So that was our...
All right. We're going to take that same issue, take a look at the administrative structure, because we had like a follow-up concern that followed that. Not only were we looking at the superintendent principal issue, but the whole idea of what's the process going to be for the hiring of the new superintendent. Michelle brings up a good point. I kidded Lee one time. I came out of the focus group and said, I got a job. We'll stay here 5 years, thanks. We're good. All right? But I know that's not a realistic request. But there is a concern regarding what is the process going to be as we hire. So we're going to ask now for, coming right in. She's going to share with us the faculty and staff concerns regarding what the process will be or should be. Some thoughts. Okay?
Hi, everybody.
I think it's important, and I know, Lee, you're not going to want me to start this way, to recognize that Mr. Bordick entered our school and community family in such a difficult position. I was going to say he doesn't want the spotlight on him because that's how he is. But I think it is very important as a whole that we recognize this, that he has brought us. He's done an outstanding job, and like Michelle said, although I want him to stay for years and years until I retire, we need to be realistic with this and look forward to the future. There were several of the faculty and staff that were on the interview committee for past superintendents, and there are several concerns that I see being on that interview committee that I think it's important that we, again, address right now so that when we enter this interview time, that we have an opportunity not just to ask questions that are told to us that we should ask, but we should have an opportunity to ask questions that we feel is important to whatever we're feeling that day or whatever is important to us in our school. I think it would be an important idea to send out a survey to taxpayers, families, the staff, and students and say, what do you want? How do you want this to look? I know that, I see Lee, and Lee knows that he has his job, I have my job, and he recognizes that I am a professional in my classroom. He lets me, and he lets, that the teachers handle things like that. So I think it's important as a whole.
So that was the number one issue, by the way, for both sets of groups, whether it was the staff or whether it was the parents and community. So you'll hear a little bit more about that at the end in my recommendations. Next, we looked at the next common issue, and that actually was communication. Very, very huge. A lot of things have been involved in communication. So I'm going to bring Michelle back up here. I'm sorry, Michelle, did you heard you? Go ahead, Michelle. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Again, we've had a lot of the same concerns that the faculty and staff had about the process for hiring a new superintendent. Specifically, we had concerns about the use of Quest Art 3 in hiring the superintendents. We have had a little bit of a lack of success when it comes to Quest Art 3's choices for previous superintendents for us. And fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I think so. We don't want to be fooled again. And I know it's expensive to have an independent search committee that would be hiring a new superintendent, but if possible, we'd be willing to explore that option. And the communication involved in the community and the parents is critical. One of the reasons that I am up here speaking is because there were not a lot of parents that came to offer to speak at these meetings, because quite honestly, we've been burned before. We participated in these community meetings where our input is sought. We've talked about what we want to see in the future when it comes to our administrative structure, and then the school has gone in a completely different direction, and it's as though we had never spoken, and we can't have that keep happening. So if you're going to ask us for our input, we really want you to listen to what we're saying, because this is our school and these are our kids that we're sending and we want to be involved. And just a more in-depth background check of future superintendent. Wynantskill is a pretty small community, and we've got a pretty good grapevine that goes on. And with social media, and we have friends, and the grapevine extends into other school districts. And there are questions that you can't ask of people when you're conducting a superintendent search. But I, as a parent, can ask the parent in any district any question I want about their current administration, the people that we're interviewing. And I can ask people for their honest feedback about what do you think about this person and how are they doing in your school, and would you want them to stay in your school? Would you want them? When we heard at the board meeting that Lee Bordick was, I'm sorry to keep raising you up, but when we heard that you were coming, and I posted on Facebook, Lansingburg friends, what do you know about Lee Bordick? Within 15 minutes, I had responses from people. He's amazing, he's wonderful, nothing but good news. And we can do that. You can't do that, but we can, and we want to. So please let us know.
Yours?
You can leave it there, I'll be back.
All right, very good. All right. So communication, you saw, was also a concern. I heard a lot from people who had served on different committees for the last superintendent search, and they had a lot of good suggestions and ideas, and Michelle's done a nice job summarizing those for us as well. Okay, let's go to the next, communication. Okay, and I'm going to bring up Amy Murphy and Lee. I'm going to come up here and share with you the issues, faculty and staff regarding the huge issue of communication. Okay, what I'll do is I'll put both of these up here, so just talk to you, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, as I look through these, I feel like we've already this year addressed many of these issues, but there is a lot of concerns within the building, within faculty, of mixed messages coming from two ends of the building, and I think that's something we would like to see more consistent. I feel like first I might say about a number of these things. I think we don't share good news with teachers and parents community enough, and you should hear about the fantastic things that are going on in the school and what the kids are doing. And more opportunities for our faculty to collaborate between grade levels. I know that even now, for example, one of the middle school teachers is collaborating with the librarian, finding time to do that. It can be challenging. We want to do that. We look forward to using all the resources in the building for all the kids. And the final bullet up there is the central place for communication. We're using the website more, but even that I think could be enhanced so that everybody knows what's going on. Everybody's able to get the same information. I think sometimes one group hears about something and then another group of parents picking it up on the grapevine. There needs to be a more direct message to everybody. Those are big concerns that we had. The final one I just was well, on my notes, I have communication with the board, faculty, and I know that as things were happening last year, I think some of the teachers felt that we addressed the board at the public meetings, but perhaps we weren't clear enough with what was going on. And, I don't know how staff is supposed to communicate with the board, if we are supposed to communicate with the board. When I was a parent, my superintendent, Marcelle, I talked to him because I was a PTA president, but as a parent, the child was in trouble. But I don't really know how faculty communicates with the school board. I communicated with most of our board members as the school counselor, talking about what's going on in the classroom or whatever, but how does that work? Do you liaison with what? That's something that needs to be addressed.
Okay, we're going to bring Marcelle back now to talk about the parent and community concerns that are identified in regard to communication.
I like to see the counselors who talk about communication. Again, a lot of these are already being addressed, I think, by the district. I love the Wynantskill e-newsletter that's going home, the email. I think that's a wonderful thing. And I'm not sure if that's only going to parents and school members, or if that is also something that goes out to the community. And we wanted to see more communication with the community around what's just good things that are happening in the school. There's lots of good stuff that's happening here, and the people who live in this community should know about it, so that they can spread the word, so they can get other people to move here, so that our properties all become more valuable. Not that we're going to sell them, as we're saying, right? But so we should consider communication tools, regular newsletters, forming a key communicator group that would be finding people within the community that who know people and can share information, and getting information out to those people so that they can spread it, among faith communities, among different areas. A district Facebook page, social media, is a huge part of our culture, and having a district Facebook page and having it regularly updated to say that this is what's happening, even like the Twitter account. Use of the advertiser, and then on the district webpage, a frequently asked question page and a We're Listening web pages. So if questions are brought up, those can be posted on the webpage, and then people can see, we hear you, and this is how we're responding to your concerns. And then for the superintendent in the future to attend some community group meetings, going out into the community and kind of sharing what's going on at the school. Then we wanted more parent information nights, like on key topics like AIS and reading. Like I said, that's already happening, and that's wonderful. So thank you for that, and let's keep that going.
I was kidding Lee because I come out of a focus group and say, hey, we got some great ideas. You know, we ought to have some information. I said, we're already scheduled. I see you've got them already for Common Core, you've got them on assessment, you've got them on reading. Okay, then I'd say, hey, you know, you ought to have a place on your website called Word Listing where people could type the questions, and it's there. He's already got it. You know, it's like, come on, help me out here. You know, we've got to have something original here now, too. But love to see these things happen, because these are things that should be happening in school districts. All right, we're going to continue with the parent and community concerns, and we're going to share theirs. I'm going to have Marcelle stay up here for a couple of slides, okay, and then Meredith's going to come up, okay? And then we're going to go back to the faculty and staff and other issues they have. Now remember, we're going to list everything that was brought up, you know, in the groups here. The first one deals with the Board of Education. And you're going to see some questions regarding trust, and you're also going to see some questions regarding, or some things regarding, people don't really know what Board of Education members do and what their role is at times too. So there's a lot of information that's got to be shared here. So I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle. This slide, you want to put them all up again for you? And then we'll talk and then we'll move to the next one, okay?
So Mike was nervous about having this slide, and I'll be honest about that. He does not want feelings to get hurt, and that's not our goal either, is to hurt anybody's feelings. But this is an issue that came up in every single one of the parent focus groups, and I think it also came up in the teacher focus group. And the parents were very clear about the verbiage that they wanted to use for this particular slide, in that we have a concern about the lack of trust in Board of Education at this point because of the events that have unfolded over the past year. And also just uncertainty about what is it that you all do. and again, like the teachers brought up about how do I communicate with you, and are we supposed to, as parents, are we supposed to communicate with you, and how do we do that? And so the suggestion was that the board needs to work to regain the public's trust, and I know Mike said that he had some suggestions at the end that he was going to go over about that. One thing that was brought up was a request for more detailed minutes so that the community can follow along with board meetings if they're not attending. And I know